Howdy traders and investors, welcome to the crypto battle, trading battle number 33, sponsored by ACAP Brokers. My name is Gary Fickard, known to many as the FX Big Dog on my YouTube channel, and you just have to search the name FX Big Dog and you will find me, or go to tradersnetworkclub.com. Now, if you're watching this trade battle on YouTube, you have to subscribe to this channel. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, but not only go ahead and subscribe to this channel, but make sure that you go ahead and click the notification bell as well and smash the like button below. Remember traders, we broadcast live trading battles every single week. And so if you want to be notified that we have a trade battle going on, you absolutely want to be subscribed to this channel. Now today we have two respected traders in this space. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the two challenges for today's trading battle number 33. So in the one corner, we have Mehdi Farooq. Mehdi is a senior investment analyst at TOKENMETRICS. He currently helps research early stage altcoins, which I'm really excited about. And he's also studying his second master's in digital currencies and blockchain. Mehdi, great to have you here today. How are you doing?
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm great. Markets are green, so that's always lovely to see.
I was going to say a bad word, but you're right. You're right. It is good to see green on the markets. Now, Mehdi, you're also a cricket player, I believe. So, right? Do you play action cricket?
What is action cricket like? I'm a cricket fan though. So at the moment I'm watching PSL. So shout out to PSL. So it's a domestic league in Pakistan, and I'm also very excited about Australia touring Pakistan in few weeks time. So looking forward to the action there.
Fantastic. Well, action cricket, I come from South Africa, and what we did is we played cricket as well. And I was a fan of cricket, but the action cricket was indoor, where you actually play indoor cricket in a smaller area, and it's a lot faster, quicker. It's really good. If you haven't played it, you got to
So
look and
it's
research.
so in Pakistan we have an equivalent version of street cricket. So we go out on streets. It's like 5-6 overs, high pace, high density, high intensity, and we just play on the street with lights on with the tape ball. So one of
Fantastic.
the reasons why we have good bowlers is because we practice with the tape ball, just trying to bowl fast.
Very cool. Very cool. So a lot of broken windows for cars and houses. Fantastic. Love it. All right. Well, we have in the other corner, we have Bill Noble. Bill hosts the daily shows for the TokenMetrics TV. He sees cryptos as an asset, as an asset class to analyze alongside other asset classes such as stocks, forex, and metals. Bill has worked with JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs. He's well respected in this space as well. Bill, I'm really excited to hear about your strategy and how you use different assets to define trading opportunities. Welcome to the battle, Bill.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Fantastic, great take. You ready for this battle? And you have a lot to share, I believe.
I'm ready. How would you like to start?
Well, you know what? We are going to start with the first challenge. So let's go ahead and get that. Bill wants to get going with this challenge. Let's go ahead, Bill. So the first challenge for Bill and for Mehdi is this. Challenge number one is going to be Ape into the Market challenge, which, by the way, is called, also known as the LFG trade, which, by the way, my producer likes to call this, let's get this trade going. I'm not going to say the right word, but let's get this trade going. All right, so the LFG trade, that's going to be the first trade to take place. Now, Bill, I'm going to go, because you're excited about getting into this first challenge, I'm going to go ahead and allow you to go ahead and start the challenge.
All right, so let me get started here with the DeFi futures contract, okay? And here's why. You know, you're hearing a lot about inflation, right? So you hear, you know, you could pick up a rock and see a bug and say, hey, have you heard inflation's a problem? And the bug would say yes. What people aren't talking about is what's the solution to the inflation, right? What's the solution? The solution is DeFi. Now, I know no one's talking about this in crypto right now, but everyone's like the Fed or the central banks have to solve it. No, the market has to solve it. And the way the market solves it is by moving money from the traditional system into DeFi, For example, Red Phone Crypto is like an anonymous crypto influencer. This guy thinks the start of the year that you could have total crypto market cap stay at 1 trillion. I'm sorry, at 2 trillion, but have the amount of money that's locked in DeFi go from 125 billion to 250 billion. So believe it or not, as destroyed as the market is, I want to be long DeFi. Now I could give you more details, but I mean, that would be my ape into the market trade. I think I just bought one DeFi contract.
Okay. Is that what you've just gone here? Have you just placed it right now? Is that the
yeah,
trade?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Now, Bill, just to take a step back right now, not just on the trade, but I know you do your daily shows as well, right? For TOKENMETRICS.
Right.
In your shows, is this the kind of conversation you have in that show as well?
Sure. As in the show, we'll go through anywhere from 15 to 30 charts on like a PowerPoint deck, where I'll come up with not just charts, but a cohesive narrative. Mm-hmm. And then, we'll do like Q&A on charts. So, kind of like freestyle charting.
Okay. And is a lot of your decisions making is based on charting with, of course, the new, so let's say fundamentals and charting all put together to combine a sort of a trade idea?
That's right. So I'm looking at a couple things, right? Charts, and common sense macro, right? Mm-hmm. Something understandable. And then you put it together and you turn the numbers into a story, because investing is about the story, right? So on the daily show and on this one, right, it's about like the story. So crypto's green today. Why? Well, because a war between, like Putin and the West is not only in no one's interest, but no one's capable of doing anything that they're talking about. So it's this giant worry trade for nothing. Right. And for example, like the Fed, inflation's at 7.5 and rates are at 0. We know rates are going higher. Okay. When people stop the drama, maybe we can get back to sort of crypto trading. So that's an example of like a bottom line from a show.
All right. Really interesting. Okay. Well, great, Bill. Well, traders and viewers, strap down. Things are going to get real right now. So don't forget to subscribe, share, and smash the like button. Bill gave us a great opportunity right now. His first trade is already in. We're now going to give the opportunity to Mehdi to be able to go ahead and counter that decision that Bill did. Mehdi, how you doing, and what you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, so personally, from a long-term perspective, I don't love DeFi at the current stage. So I know to a certain degree, for some of the people, DeFi trade will make sense. I'm not a big fan of tokenomics with regards to DeFi. I'm actually going to go the opposite direction. So I'm seeing certain things in the market. So I'm going to quickly share my screen and show you what I am kind of thinking about. So one thing I see is this is like a TOKENMETRICS has this quant grade over here. I don't know if you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can. Absolutely, we can.
Right.
Yep.
So on a daily basis time horizon, we use a different algorithmic model. So one of the coins that the AI basically picked out was Shiba Inu. So it got me thinking, going from the macro perspective, we have Fed FOMC minutes in a couple of days. You see a lot of inflation number. But market at the moment is just ignoring all of this because everything with regards to inflation is priced in. And I'm in the camp fundamentally that inflation will be transitory. So maybe it will last for a year, maybe it lasts for 6 months. I don't think it's going to be everlasting because at the end of the day, I feel technology is very deflationary. So the other day I had a guest, Dominic of Definity, on my podcast, and he told me that they are trying to build cloud storage and the whole internet stack from scratch. And the cloud storage will be much cheaper than traditional Amazon cloud storage. So for me, this is another reason why I believe technology is so deflationary that the inflation we'll see from, let's say, oil price jump and economy opening up, I think will be transitory. And I think market is also kind of pricing that in. So if you look at on my chart over here, trading economics, you see a lot of growth stocks are in red. You also see Nasdaq and S&P in green. And then if you go back to one of the risk asset for me, which is Bitcoin, you kind of see an inverse head and shoulder pattern forming. So for me, this is the neckline. This might break, and if this neckline breaks, I think crypto is heading towards much more green because it took a lot of beating. So for me, the highest beta play for short run would be Shiba Inu. Interestingly, Shiba Inu also has this inverse head and shoulder pattern on a 1 day chart. So I would like to go long over here, and basically perhaps put 15% of my allocated portfolio for short term in this trade to get the highest beta exposure to the riskiest asset there is, because I feel like market is going to realize after the FOMC meeting that the inflation is transitory, and Fed will kind of give mixed hawkish and dovish message, and I think the inflation is priced in. So based on all of these metrics and all of these things I see in the market, I would like to go, at least for this trade, go long on Shiba.
Oh man, I love that trade. We just put a lot of money in Shiba. We've been talking about that myself, me and my fellow friend Cameron, talking about Shiba. I love Shiba, and just something interesting about your chart there. You call it a head and shoulders, although it took out the previous high. Do you not refer that to more of a king's crown than a head and shoulders?
So I'll be honest, I'm more of a fundamental guy. So I'm using technicals to kind of fulfill my biases over here. But in the
Gotcha.
short run, I kind of see the inverse head and shoulder pattern and at a 1 day chart, and I
Okay.
also kind of see fundamental kind of straying info here. And even if you look at the, like, I don't know if you guys can see my screen. Let me kind of share my screen again.
Yeah.
One second.
I definitely like the rumor behind it. I like the noise behind it, and I like the fact that you've got something setting up technically that's connecting dots as well. So that looks good. I like it.
So for example, if I go long here, and I kind of like put my risk reward here, let's say if the risk is here, and if it kind of runs up to let's say next resistance, I think the risk reward is 4, which is, I think, decent. It
Yes.
can be even slightly higher. So from that perspective, it makes sense. From fundamental perspective, it makes sense. And
Yeah.
also the quant is giving me that rating. Like quant is liking Shiba at the moment, so I don't
Oh
want to
yeah.
go against the machine.
All right. Well, that's interesting. That's an interesting little graph you got there as well. And where can the viewers find that? Is that available to everyone or?
It's available to paid subscribers of
Okay.
TokenMetrics. So we have
Okay.
different subscription. One of the subscription, I think the basic version will also give you that indicator.
Okay. Good. And do you use that a lot in your analysis, or is it just a confirmation if you need it?
So let's say if I'm planning on my entry, I'd use it because it I think it's a good indicator of momentum and mean reversion. But from long term perspective, I wouldn't use it. I would just use it for entry. So
Yeah.
if the technicals make sense, if you're at a good support, or if you're breaking through, and then the quant verifies it, and there is a fundamental catalyst, combining all of this, I'll just enter a position.
Fantastic. Well, media, I like that. It's very simple, straightforward. I'm a very big technical trader too, and I've been doing that for 30 years. And I love it when you've got a clean chart, simple to understand. People can follow it very easily. So nicely done. Well done. So congrats on the challenge number 1 that is now complete, both from Bill and from Mehdi. I don't know if we have the scoreboard up here. If we can put the scoreboard up, we do. Let's take a look. Yeah, we do. So we got the scoreboard up. We don't have your trade in yet, Media. I don't see it up here yet. Have you placed that trade in yet? We got Bill's trade in. Bill's got 2 trades already that he's gone. I think he's jumping the gun a little bit here, but we're going to allow it for now. Media, do you have your trade up? Uh, you are muted, by the way, Media. By the way, you are muted. Just
Yeah, Shiba has a few more decimals, so I'm just trying to work out the decimals over there. So just bear with me.
okay. So he's getting real technical, making sure he gets the right entry. All right, fantastic. Well, let's go ahead and move on to challenge number 2. Challenge number 2 is best altcoin right now. What is the best altcoin? Which altcoin do you think is ready to pump? Now we know we're getting some green in the market right now, and so there's a lot of altcoins that are giving us a lot of opportunity. But let's see 2 challenges. They can select the 2 best, or at least the best altcoins that they can go ahead and jump in right now. Bill, I'm going to pass it back on to you, my friend. And I think I know who that. I think I know that altcoin. Could it be Mana?
Okay, well, I did Mana. I wanted to make sure I could get in here, so I didn't have any technical difficulties. Let me share my screen and bring up, what I was thinking on Decentraland.
And I like that. With all this, with all of the NFTs coming up, gaming is becoming a big industry now at the moment right now. And so with the metaverse and all that good stuff, I know that Disney's on board right now. They're trying to challenge the metaverse. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But go ahead and share.
Okay, so if you can see my screen right now, this is the work of Tom DeMark as applied to Decentraland. So one of the things that Tom DeMark's work does is it allows you to get some sort of an idea about Elliott wave without kind of the subjectivity that it gives you, right? So it may be hard to see, but you see this one up at the top?
Yes, you do.
Okay, that means the move off the lows was a one wave. And as you know, in Elliott, you wind up with 5 waves. Now, what you can see here near the 2 is you can see how they sort of liquidated everybody below that dotted line support. Another cool thing about DeMark is it draws a lot of horizontal support points, right, for you. So it takes the subjectivity out of that. So think about it. Up, down, right? Liquidate everybody below support and then start the 3-wave up. So I'm guessing, with Decentraland up 15% today, I was working on this at 1 a.m. U.S. time tonight. I was like, oh, God, please hold off. But, of course, bull markets always challenge you, right? So, the fact that this has a lot more room to run to say 375, and actually I think they can take that out and go to 475. Now, part of the Decentraland thesis, right, even though this is pretty convoluted, as it looks, there seems to be a lot of resistance in Sandbox. Let me see if I can clear at least some of this out. So it's not that I don't like Sandbox, but I'm just saying, you know what? I think I know why Decentraland is up as much as it is today, right? Because I'm wondering if it's under-owned, okay? Under-owned. So, if you're going to do metaverse, right, you've only got really 2 big cap choices. So that's part of what I'm thinking that, if the next, say, week, you got to find something that's got a lot of room to run, particularly since I believe for the second half of February, like if you're going to make money in altcoins, it's either over the next 2 weeks or the next 6 weeks. So if something's up 10%, I know that, it's not the best entry point, but I'm just going with it.
You know what? I like that. And going back to the Elliott wave structure that you have right here, normally you have, you're correct. We have a 5-wave structure, internal structure, and then what it does is it creates a larger wave, and then you have a correction move. Now, normally the correction move goes down to the 4th wave of the internal structure. So I see a little bit of movement. Do you not see any possible movement down south? And if so, let's say I'm right, that there could be a little bit of a dip in that particular coin. Do you have a backup plan that you're going to go ahead and re-enter, or are you that type of trader that says, I'm entering here, I'm putting my stop here. If it doesn't work out, I'll then look for the next opportunity?
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm just going to leave it for the next 5 days. And here's why, right? I think in a normal market, you would do exactly what you just said, right? In this case, Decentraland was at 3, okay? And it was as high as 7. Now, all it requires is somebody from like a decentralized metaverse to get involved. Okay. So like, for example, here you've got DeMark-based moving averages. So DeMark basically uses kind of smart moving averages, right? And that red moving average is climbing above the green one. I don't know. For me, that's an indication that even if you get a dip today, like the dip may be while we're talking or overnight. And I'm sure there'll be a 2% dip, but if you're going to hold it for 5 days, it's essentially a bet that you're going to get a 20% return.
Yeah. And I can see how you're banking in on Sandbox as well as the Decentraland, because we had, of course, the weekend. We had the Super Bowl weekend. And if you notice Snoop Dogg, did you notice his outfit? He's promoting him. He's promoting 50 Cent is also promoting the actual NFTs. So and again, he has something in Sandbox already. He owns land in Sandbox, which is Snoop Dogg. So I think this is going to start taking off. I think you might be in a good position there. All right,
All
good
right.
stuff. Good call. Nice. I like that. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into challenge number. Well, hold on a second. I didn't even give challenge two to Mehdi. My apologies, Mehdi. Let's go ahead and swing it over to Mehdi. It's your chance to go ahead and choose the altcoin right now. What is the best altcoin for you?
So typically when I select altcoins, like fundamentally I want to get into very early stage projects. So that gives me the best risk return. But that being said, I feel like a lot of layer ones are like the next FANG. So next Apple, next Facebook, next Microsoft, and these layer ones will just accrue value over the period of time. So if
Yeah.
somebody asks you, like when you're making a decision in crypto, for me, I keep things simple, uh, especially in public listed crypto. What is the investment thesis? A crypto that can exist 5 years down the line. And there are few, in my opinion, that does the job really well. And one of them is actually pumping today. So I would like to just share some of my thoughts regarding that. So let me quickly share my screen. 1 second.
Gala. Is it Gala?
No, I think Gala is too overvalued. It's a
Mhm.
gaming metaverse project. It can pump based on the trade, but one project which is at the moment doing really well is AVEX. Uh, but technically speaking, I would say like in short run, you are kind of seeing this trend line resistance over here. So ideally, I would like to accumulate at around 76. So you have this trend line like shorter duration, you have like a small trend line forming. Plus, you also have support from previous levels as well. So I would like to enter here, but I know at the moment it has pumped up. It's at $90. So I will place a limit order around this level, around $80. Have a small stop order below it, and try to make sure, like if the Fed comes out dovish tomorrow, I think it can break this trend line support and just go higher. And I think the risk reward is also great. So let's say a tight stop order over here and letting it fly all the way. So that's one of the coins I like, that I think I'm going to go long on. Another one is near is actually sitting. In fact, like I wanted to enter over here, but it has pumped up a bit. It's around $11. But again, I think accumulating around 10 10 50 could be interesting over here. It can, in my opinion, it's also very undervalued. The reason is it's basically what Ethereum 2.0 will be, but it's already existing now. So it has that advantage. The valuations are also very cheap. So for me, this is another coin that I really like. And there are other ones as well. Like I also like Luna. I also like Atom. I also like Chainlink. But if I were to enter my position, I will just go long in those two. So whatever amount I have left from after investing on Shiba, I'll basically place it on in these two, and basically depending on the technicals, have my stop order place, and let the trade fly.
So let me get. I didn't. I can't see the actual. What was that? The what coin was that? I can't read.
Near protocol. One is near, and one is
Okay.
avalanche. So with regards to avalanche, I'll also share one more thing. Let me quickly go on the website over here. So I did a 100x podcast with the co-founder. So if you listen to the co-founder, you will also get bullish. He was able to explain his vision very succinctly, and he was brilliant. Like he basically convinced me that this is the next Polkadot. So if you go on TokenMetrics YouTube, this is one of the podcasts I have for you.
Yes.
And in terms of catalysts, if you go on his profile, basically one of the catalysts he shows is that the TVL in crypto, TVL is how much value is locked in a project. So
Hmm.
Avalanche after Ethereum has the most TVL locked. The graph is small over here, but what this graph is showing you is that they recently overtook Binance Smart Chain. So the TVL is growing, and it's growing organically. There is a network effect, and the project has something similar to a Polkadot. And Polkadot, we know that it never arrived, but Avalanche is here, and there are few
Sure.
catalysts. One is the TVL, and the other one is the subnets, which is very similar to Polkadot. Now, I understand these things might not migrate, like might not happen in next 5 days, next 7 days, but this is one of the trades that even if there was a crypto winter, I would still hold my Avalanche, I would still hold my Near, and I'll go long on them. So it just makes sense for me in terms of comfortability to just enter this trade.
So Mehdi, do you have a belief that the market, when the market rallies, we have correction. The market rallies, we have correction, right? The market waves, correct, right? So
Yes.
because I looked at your structure there as well. So if you look at Avalanche, Avalanche has actually pumped over the last 24 hours. It's gone 12.9% up. So we've seen a move over the last 24 hours about 12%.
Yes.
And in the week we've actually gone 8% up in the week over the last 7 days. Do you feel like getting in right now, the market may go into a correction before they go ahead and continue its rally, and that you're not going to get the full benefit of this move in the next 5 days?
Yeah. I think that is true. That could potentially happen. But the way I'm kind of seeing is that the way the whole trade setup is, I feel inflation is transitory. I think the Fed FOMC meeting will have kind of like a dovish hawkish stance. I think Avalanche took a lot of beating, so it's just undervalued, like from a fundamental perspective, undervalued. And again, I don't know how the market will do, but if the market rallies, I think it will outperform ETH. So one of the trades I would ideally do, which could be complex, is do like a relative trade where I go long Avalanche and short Ethereum to kind of capture that spread if the market rallies. But then again, the risk with that trade is, since we have like a mixed up Fed, if Fed is on a slightly more hawkish side, then we might see basically ETH dumping and Avalanche dumping simultaneously, and the trade will go against me. So that's one of the reasons why I don't want to place the relative trade to kind of capture the basis. I just want to go long Avalanche, because even if the trade doesn't go in favor, like I'll have a tight stop order, but like from a swing trade perspective, from long term perspective, it's one of those coins that I personally like. So if the leverage was smaller, I would just hold it.
Are you going to be watching the Fed's meeting minutes taking place tomorrow at 2 p.m.?
Yes, because I have some trades on. But if I didn't have trades on, I wouldn't watch, because I think the crypto space has so many exciting things happening.
Yeah, yeah,
Rather have my attention there. But since I have a trade on, I have to
yeah.
be diligent.
Fantastic. Well, Mehdi, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your insight on that. It certainly is powerful stuff that I'm sure a lot of the guys, a lot of the viewers are actually paying a lot more attention to this. So let's go ahead and pass it on back to our fellow competitor, Bill. Bill, you got challenge number 3 coming up, which is the top crypto pick for the week ahead. Which crypto do you see could be the possible start? And it could be a crypto that you could possibly see that you can start building up. Remember, this is a 5-day or a 7-day trade, so which means that you don't necessarily have to say, I'm just going to enter here. You could have multiple entry points to build up that position to get the maximum out of the move in the next 7 days. What is that currency going to be? Oh, the crypto, sorry.
All right, let me pull this up. Okay, sure. The currency is going to be perp.
You say currency now. It's crypto. I got you on the wrong foot there. It's crypto.
Right, it's crypto. Sorry. So the digital asset that I'm looking at is perp. Right, perp is a derivatives exchange, and it's a decentralized derivatives exchange. All right, so I'm going to pull up why I think perp is an idea that can survive the Fed, because that's really the question here, right? Can we do a trade and not get killed? All right.
Yeah.
So here is the DeMark work on perp. So the 13s, it comes from TD sequential. It's essentially a quant-based system that counts a set of conditions. When those conditions appear for the 13th time, it's a signal you should be aware that a bottom could occur. Mm-hmm. Naturally, because it's crypto, okay, perp does this dramatic overshoot, which can happen. So you get the signal to watch for a bottom, and then you get this huge avalanche lower, right? Followed by some sort of consolidation. Now it could be a base, right? I have this saying, like, the bigger the base, the higher in the space. So with perp, I'm not seeing a lot of resistance until, say, 770. Now, perp was actually higher on the day, right? And it's actually coming off as we're talking along with the rest of the market. So, like, DeFi and, Decentraland, those are kind of my high beta plays. My lower beta play, hoping for a surprise. Now, what's a surprise with perp? The surprise, okay, is that speculation, derivatives trading would return to the market. Now, I know Mehdi does all kinds of work. We're looking at small altcoins for structured products, okay? But perp is one of the plays that, we've got on our list today. Now, one thing I want to know. So obviously, as you can see here, you've got some really, some not good candles, right? You can tell that bag holders, that people who got caught on the way down, because this was brutal, right? This down trade here was unbelievable. So here's my thesis. Even though perp right now is rolling over, this is an 89-minute chart, so maybe I'll label this for people who watch the recording. This 89-minute chart, by the way, 89 minutes comes from like GAN mathematics.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, GAN is famous for numbers like you've heard of 45-degree angles. 89 is one of GAN's favorite numbers. I got it from a guy who was he gave me my first chart book when I was an intern at JP Morgan in the summer of 1990 when Iraq invaded Kuwait. So that's when I discovered technical analysis way back when. So I got the 89-minute chart idea from him. So again, with perp, looking at this stochastic situation, just letting this kind of like relieve itself now and over the next couple of days. And I'm hoping that once the Fed's done, the desire to speculate will come back to the markets. All right. So, and if you go back to looking at this, I'm just looking to invest in something where you've got a bottom like the DeMark 13s, and you don't have a lot in the way until it's higher. So the cool thing about DeMark is, it does some of the work for you. Sure,
absolutely. Now you got a really good picture going here. You got that grayed out. It looks like a film from the 60s, with the gray. Well done. And you've given away your age, by the way, when you start talking about the 90s and so on. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just going to lay it out there.
No, I understand. There is demand on TOKENMETRICS live streams for war stories. Matter of fact, I did a presentation to a crypto class at the University of Houston. And, I did all this, layer ones, and I did all this stuff. And at the end, I asked, who wants to learn more about Ethereum? And I got like 5 hands. I asked a couple more questions. And the last question I asked is, who wants to hear like Wall Street war stories from when I worked in Legacy? And every hand went up. So I know I'm coming in black and white today. I can assure you that that's not on purpose, even though I think my TOKENMETRICS cap is still yellow. But so yes, I'm over the age of 30 and I've seen a few things. It's actually go ahead.
No, I was going to say we had Nick Leeson on the show just a couple of weeks ago, and he's known as the rogue trader, as you probably know as well. And it was interesting listening to his stories. So I can contest that listening to these war stories about Wall Street is absolutely awesome, man.
All right. Well, I made a name at Goldman for being able to trade, actually provide analysis to traders in highly volatile markets, right? So I'm perfectly suited for crypto, or so we would hope.
Excellent. Well, that's great. All right. Well, perfect. Well, we've got the challenge of the challenge number 3 that is up for Bill. Let's go ahead and take a look at the scoreboard right now before we go ahead and move it over to Mehdi again. Scoreboard looks like we have a few trades in, and Shiba's going down. All right. So Mehdi, you got your Shiba trade in. Looked like you loaded the bus on that baby. And then we've got some more trades going in with Bill right now. Right now, Bull is leading based on the drawdown we're currently in. But remember, it's early stages, viewers. Early stages. This could turn in a flash. So we're going to go ahead and move it over to Mehdi. Mehdi, you got the opportunity to jump into challenge number 3. What have you got for the viewers?
Yeah, so in terms of my top crypto pick, I just mentioned AVAX. I like AVAX. Uh, so at the end of the day, you want good projects at good entry price. So I know that this is one thing. AVAX has pumped. It's $90. So I'm just going to be patient. I'm going to share my screen, just like show my thought process on how I'm placing the AVAX trade. One second.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because
so,
that's great. Because
so
I was going to say we don't have AVIX in there already, so you haven't put that in yet, right?
yeah. I have put a limit order. So limit
Okay.
order around $81.
Okay.
So if it goes to $81 for whatever reason, I like it. Now there are few reasons. There are few reasons for that. Let me show you. So as I said earlier, you have strong support at 76. So if it goes to 81, if it tries to test that support, I get that exposure. Then you have trend line support around that level. So just waiting for a pullback. And once that pullback happen, I think $81 mark would be something I'll be comfortable in entering, and then I can have my stop order below that. Now, another thing I can do is I can look for a breakout above 95. So that's another level I'm looking at. So if this doesn't go through, if it kind of breaks this short term trend line resistance, I can basically place an order, basically do a breakout trade around $95. If this happens, more likely than not, Fed is dovish. I'm also looking at near. I'm also thinking about entering a trade over here around 1050 mark. Just place an order over here and basically diversify my portfolio between AVAX and near. Again, the fundamentals are great for this project. If it wasn't 5 days, even if it was like 1 year, 2 year, I would be comfortable holding these two positions, so I have that comfort level with these coins. And also, there are not many catalysts going for them. Negative catalysts, the only positive catalyst. So if in next couple of days, especially on AVAX side, if there's a news of new blockchain being developed through their subnet, it can easily break through the $100 psychological mark, and then maybe even test 140, 130, who knows. So that's the setup I have, going long on AVAX in year for the week. But there are other coins as well. Like you can see, like Atom. If somebody wants to think about going long on Atom, it's another project I like fundamentally. Ling is also good fundamentally. Luna is also one project I like fundamentally. The only thing I'm a bit scared about for Luna is that if Fed is hawkish, this is a very high beta play, and there will be a pressure on UST, and Luna has a direct relationship with USD. So that's the only reason fundamentally I'm not comfortable with from a short-term perspective. So that's the reason why I've chose AVAX in here, not Luna. But Atom and Link would have been my third and fourth pick, at least from fundamental standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we did have a question here from one of the students that posted, or some of the viewers that posted over here and said, if Bitcoin goes on a run and the dominance chart also goes on a run, then the altcoins won't run. Now, I do believe that there are going to be some altcoins, and that's why AVX and Avalanche and certain other cryptos altcoins are actually going to run through that period, because we've seen that over the past, right? We've seen that even though we've seen Bitcoin and Ethereum run in a certain direction, we do see some altcoins either started to dip, waiting, and then when Ethereum, Bitcoin stop dropping, we see sort of like a shift of safe haven in the altcoin in the altcoin itself. So I like that call on Avalanche. I like that call. Now let me just make sure here. You've got a Shiba. Your Shiba was your first challenge. What was the second trade that you took on your second challenge?
So for the second trade and this one, I just want to go long Avalanche in here because of the fundamental backdrop.
Okay, so you're not going to enter in 3 trades. You enter in just the two. So, but challenge 1 and 2, sorry, 2 and 3 are going to be the same one, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, all right, fantastic. Well, you know what? If and you've got a limit entry at the moment right now, which means we're not there yet.
yes.
Okay,
We're not there yet.
all right.
I'm going to be monitoring the market as well. Like let's see how it goes. If I kind of see more buying pressure, and if it reaches like 94, 95, I might remove that and might enter a breakout trade for
Okay.
Avalanche.
Okay, good. Well, good. Well, that's the three challenges that we've got here for you, for the viewers today. But I'm going to go ahead and extend the conversation a little bit more to both. If we can have both Bill and Mehdi up here, and so we can go ahead and have this conversation. So just a question for both of you, because you're both contributing towards the tokenmetrics. When you go ahead and do what you do for the company, what is it that you're providing? I know that Bill, you do the daily TV show. I know that Mehdi does the research and provides the research. Do you guys work together hand in hand and provide each other with information and sort of like communicate the decision making on that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Mehdi may not know this, but I love having a guy, Mehdi and his group. It's like a fundamental analysis department at an investment bank, except it's obviously a group of guys. That's what makes TOKENMETRICS cool. Yeah. So if Mehdi tells me, hey, there's something different about Avalanche, if you pop the hood and look at the blockchain. And then, I had chart work at the same time that showed, Avalanche could lead the entire market. A lot of people don't know this, but, ETH did something in 2017 where it went from 100 to 1,000. Now, I don't want to be crazy, but that occurred to me as soon as I heard Mehdi's research. So yeah, we definitely coordinate, and, it makes reading charts and telling stories a lot easier because I got Mehdi around.
Yes, it does. Yeah, and why I'm asking that question is because Cameron, I brought Cameron into my company called the Traders Network Club, and partly what he does the research like Mehdi does. He goes in and he does the research because it takes a lot of time. Mehdi, you can confess, right? The time that you have to spend on watching different channels, looking at his biggest feed is of course Twitter. Picking up and following the big guys and listening to all of the stuff that's going on, following the blockchains, and then also at the same time getting into the discords, pulling out information. So it takes a lot of work. So I've got a lot of respect for you and Cameron that go through that sort of go through the trenches and find the information that's important to be able to pick up on this. I mean, I spoke about Gala. Gala, we spoke about that 2 weeks. We said there's a rally expected in Gala. It's rallied up over 100% over the last 2 weeks. But those are the type of picks that Mehdi, you're good at, right? You pass that information over to Bill and his teams.
Yeah, there are two things I do. So one thing is speaking to different entrepreneurs and trying to see what trends are next. So for example, at the moment, I'm talking to a lot of VCs, a lot of early stage, a lot of entrepreneurs out there who are building projects that will get listed in, let's say, 6 months to 1 year time. So speaking to these entrepreneurs, even before, basically when they're making the project, you typically get a good sense of what's next in the market. So for example, when the gaming project and metaverse boom was happening, I could convey to Bill that, a lot of entrepreneurs are getting into this space and the valuation they're asking for is huge. So that could be sometimes an indicator for public market rally, and sometimes the other way around. So at the moment, I'm within early stage investment with different entrepreneurs. A lot of entrepreneurs are working with zero knowledge proof. So a lot of projects in the public market which are encapsulating this technology will typically do well because a lot of investors have seen this trend, and sometimes private markets are earlier than public markets. So that's one value add I do. Another value add I provide is, from a long term perspective, is the valuation. So in short run, market can be irrational. Price can go up, price can go down. There are technicals, there are volume, there are different players out there. But eventually, you also have to respect valuation. So value, if for example, with case of Gala, I personally feel the valuation is too high. So for me, I would rather go long on Mana or Sandbox, or one of the picks I have is Somnium Space. So the ticker is Cube. So for me, those kind of make sense from valuation perspective. So valuation, picking out the trends early, speaking with entrepreneurs, and trying to catch the train early. And then Bill can help me out with some of the technicals, seeing the psychology of the market. And when we fuse these together, a lot of our subscribers tend to love that.
Fantastic, and that's real interesting, and I think viewers must really appreciate the type of work and insight that both Bill and Mehdi bring to the table, because it takes a lot of work to really get this information, and that's why it's so important to follow these type of experts, because they do all the homework, they do all the research, and they are connected with the right people. And I'm going to get Cameron connected to Mehdi, because I think they can really contribute to for each other when it comes to these type of information. So this is great. Networking, getting involved in this type of stuff is great. I guess I have a question for both of you. I don't know which one can answer this question. Maybe more Media as well on this one. But does NFTs, when they're going to be dropping NFTs, and I know Cameron's really focused on that, when they drop in NFTs, it does influence a lot of the crypto moves that we've seen. And when we get these big drops on these main cryptos, is that something that you guys keep an eye open for as well?
Of course. So with Solana, one thing we are keeping an eye on is that OpenSea might integrate. So OpenSea is the biggest platform for
Yes, it
people to
is.
buy and sell NFTs. So if OpenSea kind of gives a thumbs up for Solana and their NFTs, Solana NFT space will basically explode. So a lot of people will mint Solana. There will be network effect. Users will joining in. There will be unique addresses going up. There will be more value that will be locked. So one way to kind of do an index play on whole NFT sector will be just to buy Solana, or maybe one of the NFT marketplaces in Solana. Now, I do feel like it's art. It's a very difficult art to kind of pick single NFT, like a single profile picture that will do well. I'm not that good at. I'll be honest. Like, it's very difficult for me to catch one single NFT. And I think we're too early to make concentrated bets. So the way I kind of sometimes play the NFT space is to get an index level exposure, and I typically tend to get index level exposure through layer ones. So layer ones such as AVAX, Near. One thing just to add on NFT, the
Yeah.
one of the trades I like is Near, and one of the reasons I like that trade is because I think Near NFT ecosystem is very nascent, and I think it's just ready to explode. The whole blockchain architecture is basically built for gaming and NFTs. So one thing the market, in my opinion, is not typically giving credit to Near is how good the blockchain is for NFTs and gaming. So Solana will do well, Ethereum will do well, but Near could be the incumbent that basically also in few months time starts to take their market share.
Sure, great, fantastic. And Bill, I got a question for you about Solana and Ethereum. There's been a lot of chatter about Ethereum possibly being the mistake of crypto, which means that Ethereum was the first to go ahead and create these smart contracts, and but then we've got Solana, we've got Cardano that are leading behind. But what they're doing is they're doing everything what Ethereum did wrong. So everything, all the mistakes that they made, they have got a totally different start. There's chatter about that Solana or even Cardano could be, taking over what Ethereum started off. Is it possible?
Yes, I think a couple things are possible in the layer one world, right? I don't think there's going to be one layer one that's champion. There's more than one way to get into New York City, tunnels, bridges, turnpikes, highways. I think there's going to be more than one way to access the future of finance and art. Now, that said, everyone wants to kill Ethereum. It's interesting that, gas fees are a payment to be on the network. So think about going to Las Vegas. Do you want to stay in a cheap hotel or do you want to stay in a nice one? Ethereum, in my mind, is the really nice hotel because it's got the nicest network. Now, Solana's probably being held back by the fact that venture capitalists frankly, they have huge bags. So there's going to be this extensive consolidation period for Solana, right? Which will allow probably Avalanche to take off as many expected.
Sure.
Right? Now, Cardano, Cardano's funny, right? 1 minute it's changing the world and it's the number 3 crypto, and now no one is talking about it. Yeah. So I like Cardano now because no one's talking about it, right? And one day, perhaps say 6-7 months from now, it'll probably be time for Solana again.
Yeah. I see Cardano is actually rated number 7 right now. It's down 8% to almost 9% for the week. It had a rally over the last 24 hours of 4.5, 4.7%. But then Solana's been down 13% in the week. So we've had a little bit of an increase over the last 24 hours to 6%. So there's definitely a battle between the two on 6 and 7 position right here. So, actually 7 and 8 position. So it's pretty interesting how their market cap is changing. Well, that's great. That's fantastic. Great conversation, guys. Really great conversations. Now, let's go take a quick review of the scorecard as we go ahead and finish off over here. Looks like no changes to the Shiba trade, still down. Let's take a look at the other trades on Bulls. Bulls trades is also there. Bull currently is leading. Again, this could change over the next 5 days, so definitely want to keep an eye on that. And there will be a winner at the end of the week. So we'll keep those trades going, guys, and we'll see how that plays out and see who is the champion of this battle. And we'll go ahead and announce that. Now, before we go, Bill, I'd like to go ahead and give you the opportunity to just give the viewers a little bit of information about how they can get in touch with you or follow you and learn a little bit more what you do in your trading style. And also, if you can do me a favor as well, share some information about your charity of choice that you've chosen so that all the profits that you've generated from this battle will be going to your charity of choice. Go ahead and share on that as well.
All right. So my charity of choice is for St. Jude's. It's Children's Cancer Research. So I saw actually a lot of commercials on American football games because I'm sure COVID-19, has sucked up a lot of research dollars. So, kids with cancer is obviously, I'm a parent, so I feel for those kids.
Sure.
So that's St. Jude. In terms of where you can get in touch with us, it's crypto_noble, all right, on Twitter, right? And TOKENMETRICS.com, right, for us. And, if I may, for the trading battle and Valentine's Day, we're running a 30% off coupon, Love 30, right? So if you want AI plus the type of human analytics that we're doing, come visit us at tokenmetrics.com.
Fantastic. Now, I had my 29th year anniversary with my wife the day before Valentine's. Do I get a bit of discount? Do I get a huge discount?
Well, you can get the 30% discount until the 21st. So we gave you we gave you and your Valentine some time to get in on TokenMetrics because remember, you have that big banner behind you. It's alt season. My PowerPoint for today was called Alt Reason. So there's a lot of reasons to get involved now.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you there. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Bill. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Mehdi, do you want to go ahead and add something different? I know that you're both at TokenMetrics.
Yeah, so I'll just mention the charity I've selected. I've selected Aga Khan Foundation. So I'm from Pakistan. I've seen them work close-handedly. They work on food security. They work on education, poverty, and the charity with regards to Aga Khan Foundation is that they want to help not just Pakistan, for example, all the emerging markets. And all the emerging countries out there, so Nigeria and so on and so forth. And their focus is really on education and poverty. So for me, this is something which is very close to my heart, and that's the reason why I selected this charity. Secondly, if you guys are interested in early stage tokens, if you guys are interested in ICOs, IDOs, and if you want quantitative analysis, technical analysis, and also valuation of these ICOs and IDOs, I think you should subscribe to TokenMetrics. We have deep dive reports for our exclusive customer. We have a Telegram group where you can network with fellow investors who also appreciate early stage tokens, and then you also have TV shows regarding these coins. Going forward, we are also hiring, so we'll have sector specialists for all of these early stage tokens. So we have a DeFi sector analyst, Web3 sector analyst, NFT, gaming, metaverse, layer one, and all of these analysts kind of provide you the brain power, so you don't have to go into Discord and Telegram and find 100x, 50x kind of opportunities out there. So definitely worth subscribing to TokenMetrics, and it's also worth reading our research for that matter.
Fantastic. Well, that's a lot of a lot. So, Mehdi, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you for your charity of choice as well. Thank you for sharing that as well. Fantastic. Well, viewers, I hope you get a great time. Now, before we go ahead and leave you, let me go ahead and thank Bill and Mehdi, and thanks a lot for the information that you shared with everyone. It's been absolutely awesome. I've learned a little bit as well, and I do appreciate that. And I know that the viewers have learned a lot. So that is great, and that's exactly what these shows are all about: is just sharing information and get everyone educated about the new things that are happening in the market. Now, before we say goodbye, like I said, I'd like to go here also and thank the sponsors, ACAP Brokers. And as a show of thanks, I want to go ahead and make sure that everyone in this channel right now, everyone watching, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, share this video, and smash the like button like nobody's business. All right, smash the like button. Let's get this video out to as many traders as possible and share the love. With that being said, I'm Gary Fickard, wishing you joy, success, and lots of profits. Until next time, happy trading, my friends.